Okay, now I'm going to talk about Raw, not like the last Raw ever or anything, just like the last couple. I'm going to generally talk about some things that I thought about it, and then after I'm going to talk about a couple SmackDown episodes that I've had. Okay, so the Judgment Day kept the titles. They beat the War Raiders. I don't know. I'm kind of annoyed also that they haven't been defending the titles, and kind of just they haven't even been like holding them and like showing them off usually, and like being like rubbing it in people's faces. Like that's kind of what I want at least. If you're not gonna fight to defend them. And I also kind of just want to like I love I loved Finn before, right? Like I've loved iterations of Finn. This right now is not my favorite Finn, so I do kind of want him to lose because I want him to get angry. I sense that he's getting angrier. The way that Dom like stood up to him. Oh my god, when he was wearing the beanie, he looked so fucking good. He looks so fucking good. He is like he's hot. He's hot. I'm just gonna say he's hot. Um, like when Dominic stood up to him, I was like, yeah, attack him, get him, like get him. So I do kind of want to see Finn. Like I don't know what I really mean when I'm saying like knocked down a peg, because he's kind of honestly like on the lowest peg I think he can be, but I kind of want to see him knocked down a peg. Um, and I kind of want like when that to happen. I kind of want JD to like knock him down even more and like not side with him. I feel like it will be like Liv, Raquel, Dom, and then Carlito like going and following Raquel like a lost little puppy. And I kind of want JD to like be like, well, I'm not gonna join you, lonely loser. Like I want to be part of a group and like have strength in numbers, and like kind of just like it'd be great if JD like turned on his mentor, like the guy that taught him like how to get into this business and like trained him. I think that'd kind of be like great. I'm of course like never happy when a wrestler's injured or whatever. Of course not. But I was kind of really happy. I was kind of happy when Rhea would had to like leave like 2 or 3 weeks ago or whatever, and I thought she was kind of gone for a while. I was probably like a month ago now, actually, because like I loved the Dom and Liv drama that had been happening like since Rhea was first again. I did not want Rhea to be like medically DQ'd like that first time. Of course not, of course. And like I'm annoyed they spent that time like fully just like putting Liv all on Dom instead of like having her also defend her belt. Like she defended against Zelina, and that was good. Like Zelina had the crowd chanting sloppy seconds. Like that was great. But then they kind of just like dropped Zelina off. They kicked her because they weren't willing to build up a feud between Liv and anybody else. I think for fear the feud would be so good that by the time Rhea came back, nobody would want to see that, and they would instead want whoever she was fighting currently, whoever Liv was fighting then, to like continue that feud. So I think they like cut that off with Zelina kind of because of that. But like even if you don't want her to feud, you could have had Liv doing like one-off matches against like Natty, against Lyra, building people up or keeping them up. Because Lyra was like I don't remember how recently she had been in the Queen of the Ring finals before in relative time to like before Rhea came back or whatever. But she was like thought of as being like a great athlete, like up there, like you give her 10 years and she might be like the face of the division. But then they kind of just like threw her back, like they were sticking her with the party girls. And but that goes into another problem I have, which I will go back to once I finish my thought. So I'm like I of course was not happy when Rhea's like orbital bone was broken or whatever, but I was like, okay, maybe they'll learn from this that they can't just have Liv twiddle her thumbs and wait on the side for Rhea to come back and like to be in a feud, because like they had time. Like if they built something up, well, Rhea was DQ'd that first time. DQ'd, is that medically no, I'm using that wrong. Like I'm using that wrong, but whatever. When she was like medically out the first time, a feud, like a person, if they had stuck with Zelina and built that up, which is good because Zelina is in the LWO with Ray, like deadbeat dad. Like it's perfect that they feud with each other, and they even had a tag match, which was great. But they weren't willing to commit, and if they committed, they wouldn't be in such a rough spot now with the women's intercontinental champion. Because like I'm excited, like yes, another women's title, like that is great. Because at the beginning of this year, the men had 5 more titles than the women, right? And ending this year, the men will have 2 more titles than the women, which is not like, it's like I'm glad that it like shrunk down by 3. Like, you know, NXT, the women's North American title, the women's US title on SmackDown, and then the women's Intercontinental title on Raw. But it's like, who's going to compete? Like, they have to like quickly shove out these vignettes of like Dakota Kai and Lyra to remind you, hey, we have other women that wrestle, and that we will start paying attention to now. And hopefully this title will shove or like force them to pay more attention to the other women of the division. But it's like, you didn't have to throw them to the side completely. Like you could have had them feuding with Liv this whole time. And so it just feels like now you're doing all this work that you didn't have to do if you had just been consistent with the women. And so yeah, I'm like, it's probably going to be Zelina or Lyra, because they're the people you'd have to build up from the division the least, besides Natty. But I don't think it's going to be Natty, because I think they want to like reward like an up, or not an up and comer, or like yeah, but just someone newer, you know what I mean? Natty already has like tons and tons of accolades, so I don't think they'll give it to her. But I'm also like, I don't think they'll make Zelina the inaugural women's intercontinental champion, because she was already the inaugural queen of the ring. Like she already has that, like that stamp. You're the first ever, you're the shining star, you're that girl, right? So I do think it's probably going to go to Lyra, most likely, that she will be the US intercontinental champion. Oh yeah, but anyway, so I was kind of like, of course, like I did not want Rhea to be hurt, but I was like, okay, now WWE have a chance to learn from your mistakes and live up with someone else. You know what I mean? Which I think they will after this, because I think they probably want to take Liv Rhea to WrestleMania, but now they're starting to realize they can't, not with the way, or like they can't and keep it as hot as they want it all the way consistently through if they don't like back off a bit, because it's kind of just not been booking it the best. It's been entertaining, but there have been missteps, obviously, like super booking Rhea and underbooking Raquel, who's supposed to be the heavy, supposed to be the bodyguard, Raquel. Okay, but besides Lyra, Zelina, and Dakota, like who else is gonna be in it? Like maybe Natty, like I said, and then I'm like, are you just gonna fill out like PFC? Like who else is gonna be at PFC and then one other person? Like who? Maybe, well, definitely Sonya, but then like I don't know where they're gonna find 3 other people. Probably, oh, Maxine. Let's use for real. Zelina, Lyra, Natty, Dakota, Sonya, Maxine. I don't think they'll like let a full tag team do it. So I don't think they'll like let Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, like either of them really do it. Maybe they will. I think Alba Fire is so great. Like I think they should let her be in the bracket, but I don't know if they will. Wait, why not? Jade and Bianca were in the bracket for the US. No, yeah, the US title. So if they'll do the same here, then Alba Fire. And honestly, it's kind of hard for me to name like a full, like another one. Maybe one of the party girls, Kaden. Maybe. I'm struggling to fill out this bracket because they just like really like kind of dumped all the women on Raw. They're just like out of sight, out of mind. Oh, speaking of Maxine Dupree, so there was Kofi and Xavier versus Akira and Otis. And Maxine came out to the ring in the cutest that she's gonna eat down when she got a fuzzy bucket hat. And she was in the cutest pink outfit and she looked so good. And Akira and Otis won. I was like, they like not only won, it was like a fucking squash. Like they absolutely destroyed Kofi and Xavier. And I was kind of like thinking maybe they'll win to like, but like with a mess up of interference or something and like whatever, but they like just straight up, oh well, there was a bit of like tension right away because like, was it Xavier, did he like tag right in? I can't remember who was in, but yeah, there was that like, instant tag back in, and there's just tension. It was a squash. It was so good. And then when they went to the back, honestly, this hurt. Like, I don't know if there's any way, any hope that they don't break up on their 10th anniversary. Like, will Big E be there? Will he like convince them and like, no, see reason, like we don't have to break up? Hopefully. I don't know, because I am gonna be like, I love the drama, but like it's really sad. Like there was like a video package or whatever where it was all of them as like New Day rocks. Yeah, like I was living for it. And then it was the way that they were taking digs at each other, like I honestly couldn't handle it. Especially not like obviously horrible, awful digs. Like when Xavier was like, well, at least he didn't lose to Brock Lesnar in like 5 seconds. Like I was like, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's Vince's fault. It's not his fault. Like, don't put that on him. We're down in the dumps. Like, I don't know what else this time. This is gonna be hard for me to watch. But I'm still gonna be watching. I'm gonna watch like. I'm sorry. I have nothing else to say. It's sad. Nikki attacks Scarlett. This was like the drama. Like I was like, when we stuck on Scarlett after like all the other men or whatever left the room, I was like, oh no, girl, it's not good for you. It's not good for you because I thought, like I was kind of like peeved. I was like, damn, you just leaving Scarlett behind. Like she can handle herself. Like don't just. But then she got absolutely wrecked. I don't know. She got PTSD. I don't know. Maybe you want to put her in a straight jacket because she was like started whooping Carrie's ass like when he came in, and there was a little message on the mirror. I can't remember what it was. I don't care. It's basically, we're coming for you. You fucked with the wrong psychos. And so yeah, I'm excited. They're not on the Survivor Series card, which is weird. I'm wondering when like they're gonna be on a PLE. Like I don't know, hopefully, what if it's that Saturday night main event? I hope. I'm holding out hope. I'm just so greedy. I'm like, give me the U.S. Women's title. Give me Pretty Deadly Musical. Give me the fucking Wyatt 6 on a PLE. Please, like, give it to me all. I'm so greedy right now. But, so hopefully they are. Hopefully, and if they are at the, Saturday night main event, I feel like that's where Alexa Bliss might come back. I'm not like, I love Alexa Bliss. I do, the goddess. I love her. But I'm not super uber fiending for her to come back. For her to come back because like I kind of want to lock in on who we have so far because we haven't done a ton of with everyone. Like, I just feel like they the White Six have been doing their thing, against like American Made, and now they're on AOP. But I just feel like there hasn't been like enough of them. They didn't even have them like at all in October. Like they were maybe on one episode in October. They didn't really do anything, and that's crazy. Like, how do you miss your window like that? They debuted in June, July, August, September. Like, you had time to like plan to have something done in October. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it kind of dropped the ball a bit there. But hopefully they can dribble it back up again, get it hopefully they can get it together because I really like I don't want whatever ish is about to like I just have the biggest fear that like we're at the end of November right now, and they're obviously not gonna work at the end of December, like the holidays they have off. I just worry that we're probably gonna see like the White Six like one more time this year, and it's not gonna be in like a match or exciting or whatever. Like it will be exciting, but if it's not like a match, I'm like they really had like 6 months and they did not do a lot with them. Like hopefully something crazy at Saturday Night Main Event, or hopefully Raw on Netflix. That'd also be great. That's going to be a really big episode, too. Yeah, I'm just holding out hope. I feel like they kind of, like, just dropped the ball big time, though, with the Wyatt Six. They're trying to build it back up, but it's like, come on, build up a bit faster, please. Like, everybody, I feel like they don't need to take their time and build up, like, deep feuds or whatever and get us into it fully, because I feel like everybody for the main part is just like excited to see about the Wyatt Six and see what they do. So you don't need to try real hard to get us excited by building up a feud. Like it's kind of the opposite with I'll talk about that more in the SmackDown section, but like with Shinsuke and LA Knight, like no build up at all there, but then like you're doing all this. I feel like maybe they didn't want like a group fight because it's War Games and we're already doing two big group fights. But I really would have preferred if it was like Wyatt 6 AOP rather than Shinsuke and LA Knight. I love them both. But I wish there was more time to cook. The faces have won the advantage for War Games. So I'm happy that they won the advantage because I feel like when you win the advantage, it's kind of like you're going to lose. Like, I feel like the faces have been winning the brawls leading up to Survivor Series, and they won the advantage. Like, it's kind of saying to me like they're going to lose the actual match, which I would prefer the heels to win War Games. Like, I feel like it's leading to, but I feel like it's easier to right away for the heels to lose War Games because like it's easy to have infighting there. Just have Tiffy cash in, right? And it's like if Tiffy cashes in on Nia because all the ish that she was like talking shit about, it's like, are the baby faces really gonna stop the heels from fighting each other? No, they're not, and it will completely dissolve because when Tiffy cashes in on Nia and starts wailing on her, like Liv and Raquel are just gonna step back and let it happen because it's like, yeah, they're gonna lose War Games, but I think Liv is more concerned like let Tiffy burn the briefcase so that I'm completely safe. Like that is it's way smarter than caring about winning War Games. Like let me like secure my title. So obviously Liv and Raquel aren't gonna stop like Tiffy from cashing in on Nia, but if Candace jumps in and tries to like stop Tiffany from cashing in or like fend fend her off and help Nia because she's been like smooching up to Nia. So it's like all that smooching up goes out the window if Nia's no longer the champ. So I think Candace will step in on Nia's behalf and like they'll both start fighting Tiffany. But then I think Liv and Raquel will start fighting Candace to like get her off of Tiffany so that the briefcase would be burned. So I feel like it would be like they're just the heels are completely dissolving, fighting each other. So I'm like, I don't see a way. I don't even know who the fourth like or the fifth baby face is. Probably Bailey. But like, it doesn't even matter because I'm like, how could the baby faces lose? Like, I feel like the heels are gonna completely dissolve. Um, but it's like but the baby faces winning the advantage makes me think that they are gonna lose. But I just don't see how. Like, it's way easier to write the heels losing.